Our Father, which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Chinese officials tried to keep the outbreak quiet. All through January, social media lit up with claims of censorship by the communist government, and citizen journalists who reported on the outbreak disappeared. Video posted online showed non-infected people being dragged out of their homes and taken away as supposed patients after reporting on social media. International journalist and war correspondent Michael Ware says China has a poor track record of telling the truth. One of the first people to go public was Wuhan ophthalmologist Li Wenliang. On December 30, the day before China alerted the World Health Organization, he sent a message to a group of colleagues about a possible outbreak. Days later, he was summoned by police and reprimanded for making false statements and disturbing the public order. He went back to work at the hospital, but a week later developed symptoms himself and died on February 6. China downplayed the spread. Even after it crossed international borders, the director of the government's Wuhan Center for Disease Prevention insisted the outbreak could be controlled. Another theory is that the virus is a leaked bioweapon, an experiment tested on animals which either escaped the lab or was sold to local street vendors after the experiments were over. A novel written some 40 years ago spoke about an outbreak just like this one. The Eyes of Darkness, published in 1981, described a virus produced in a lab just outside Wuhan as China's most important and dangerous new biological weapon in a decade. It's prompted frantic discussions online, but it is just a work of fiction. The symptoms and kill rate simply do not match.
You have to know where to look. Hidden in a block of flats, behind a bolted door. This is what faith looks like in China. Xu Yonghai has run this underground church in Beijing since 1989. He's been to prison or re-education through labor camps 3 times because of his beliefs. But these are the darkest days he's known, as the Chinese Communist Party stamps down on any version of religion that doesn't acknowledge its supremacy. China is officially an atheist state, with freedom of religion guaranteed in the constitution. State-sanctioned churches do exist, but the power and glory belongs to the party. It keeps tight control. Worshippers are registered, CCTV cameras fitted, and the Bible is even being retranslated by the government to ensure what they call correct understanding. But unofficial churches were tolerated, until recently. Police closed this one by force in Chengdu, southwest China, in December last year. This Beijing church was also shut down in another raid last year, after its leaders refused to install CCTV cameras. You used to get throngs of worshippers coming here. It was one of the biggest underground churches in China. And now there's not much left to see. We tried to go in, they said, well, there's nothing here. Then we said what we wanted to see, they said the police have shut it down. And in any case, the lift isn't stopping at the 3rd floor. There's no trace left. And that's what people practicing Christianity in China fear. They'll simply be scrubbed from existence. And in March this year, another famous church with a congregation 1,000 people strong was banned. Afterwards, they pledged to hold a prayer meeting in a public square in Beijing. We also went, but the square was simply shut down by authorities. The few brave enough to come here were quietly escorted away. Undercover police officers followed us while we filmed, then approached.
Hi, sir. Hey, it's not good. Why?
A police station opposite Pastor Shu's home church. He says it was built to keep watch over him. Everyone exists in a state of paranoia. The faithful worried for their liberty, but also the Communist Party itself, which sees threats everywhere, even here.
我们可能没有平安，也可能不知道我们未来是什么，没有平安，我们真是没有平安，看不到平安。但是呢，我们能看到我们要忍耐，多么艰难都要忍耐，坚忍下来。
如同我们免了人的债，不叫我们遇见试。
And persist they will, but only as long as the party lets them. Tom Cheshire, Sky News.
什么？在哪里？我们没看到，什么都没看到。不是，你们举这个，你们要把我丈夫带到哪里？请告诉我，请告诉我。市公安局。什么？市公安局。现在带到市公安局吗？对。市公安局做什么？为什么做什么？哎，你们已经该录像的、该拍照的拍了，我们为什么不可以？而且我是他的家属，为什么？
基督徒个人家庭中的清白也要受干扰吗？愿意付出更大的代价来为福音在我们生命中的翻转大见证。我们愿意200人、300人、500人都被他们抓起来、关起来，让全世界知道我们是为了信仰甘心乐意受如此逼迫。
They are desperate and they are emotional. Each one of them showing us a photograph of their loved one or loved ones who have been detained in China. Some mothers, brothers, sisters and fathers have not been heard from in years. Three members of the Muke family are in one of the Xinjiang camps. Sipilla's son disappeared 18 months ago. An estimated 1 million Muslims are being held in re-education camps in China's Xinjiang province. A counter-extremism campaign called Strike Hard has led to armed police and surveillance cameras on the streets and metal detectors at mosques. Initially, the target was China's ethnic minority called Uyghurs, who have, as a group, been blamed for a series of terrorist attacks. But it has extended to other Muslim groups, including Turkic Muslims like Kazakhs and Kyrgyz. Attending prayers can get you held on undisclosed terrorism charges. In the Kazakh city of Almaty, we met one former detainee who described being placed in chains and a full metal jacket as he was interrogated. During his 4-month detention, Kairat was forced to reject his religion and worship communism instead. The construction worker was released in February and says he is still watching over his shoulder. Kazakhstan is known for its religious diversity, and it has become a safe haven for thousands of threatened Muslims. And it is to here that an increasing number of Chinese Uyghurs have fled to hide, as one by one their family members and friends have been taken by the authorities. This Uyghur asked us to disguise his face and voice. His father was detained in March for going on a pilgrimage to Mecca.
They've banned men from growing beards, women from wearing headscarves, and even the names Mohammed and Ahmed. They treat Muslims like terrorists. My father is in his 70s. What threat does he pose?
The Chinese government last week released footage of what it describes as Xinjiang's vocational training centres. Interviewees talked of the skills they are learning and thanked the Communist Party. Today I told the Foreign Ministry that those we spoke to described such centres as prison.
采取预防性措施的一种有益的尝试和积极的探索，目的呢都是防微杜渐、治病救人。
That defence offers little explanation for why these families have been torn apart. Religion appears to be the only reason this girl is growing up without her mother. Debbie Edward, News at 10, Almaty, Kazakhstan.